lovelies, welcome back to another drawing tutorial. You guys really loved my Barnaby one that I made months ago, and I love that you guys tagged me in your own art so I can see it. Speaking of the Barnaby tutorial, I would like to thank my friend who drew this bit of fan art of Barnaby with my character Morgan. This is extremely cute. Some of you guys have been wanting more drawing tutorials from me, and I am absolutely here to deliver. I had a poll on my YouTube community tab a while ago, and I did it a while ago, sorry for the procrastination, asking you guys which of the bishops from Cult of the Lamb should get a drawing tutorial first, and in a landslide, it was Leshy for the win. Which was not a surprise. The Bishop of Darkwood seems to be a fan favorite, and what a better time to release this than after the release of the Unholy Alliance DLC for Cult of the Lamb. Before I get started, get whatever material you used to draw with, and be sure to follow along if you are interested in learning how to draw this bishop. Now, when it comes to learning how to draw, the first thing you're going to do is break down the character to basic shapes so you can build them up. When it comes to this technique, it's not a form of tracing, and even though it's technically copying your reference, it's still a valid and reliable way to learn how to draw. Any drawing tutorial you'll find will show you to use basic shapes in order to build up what you're drawing. Doing this for a reference is a good way to learn how to follow this technique, so when you start freehanding your own drawings, you won't have to be so reliable on a resource because you know how to build up the character with shapes. As you can see, I traced over Leshy to identify basic shapes that I can see that build him up, and I freehand those same exact basic shapes on a different layer. Now, it's important to keep in mind when it comes to this phase of your drawing, don't worry or stress out too much that it doesn't look neat and perfect or some shapes don't feel proportioned to the other. Putting your shapes together is just the first step of the sketching process where you are laying down the basis before you start your guidelines. If your drawing program has layers like Procreate does, feel free to lower the opacity on your drawing, start on a new layer and trace over your guidelines until it's something you're happy with before you start adding the detail work. As you can see, that is exactly what I did. I simply traced over my guidelines to better define Leshy so you can see his shape coming through a little bit better. You might have noticed I didn't leave the trapezoid and the oval exactly the shapes as I did for them in the guidelines. I adjusted their curves and made them better fit for what I was going for so you can start to see Leshy start to take shape. That's the point of having basic shapes in your drawing, as you will see me demonstrate as we continue further, so you can go over their lines or stray away from them for more desired results. Now, with a teal pencil, I'm going over the guidelines again, but I'm also adding like the branches, the crosses, and Leshy's crown. When it came to doing the trim on his robe and the bandages across his face, I also made sure to change the color of my pen strokes just to make it easier to keep track of the guidelines. Now it's time to move on to my personal favorite phase when it comes to drawing, and that is doing the official line art. As you can see, when it came to the bandages, you notice the curves that follow the guideline for his head are kind of straying a little bit, having a bit more of a blocky edge, which just shows the layered bandages that are wrapped around Leshy's head. I know line art is not everybody's favorite, and I know this step tends to stress out a lot of people. Don't rush it, go slowly, and if you have the symmetry tool like I did for Procreate, it's not going to be that difficult for you to finish up quicker. Just make sure you have your references on hand as a guide to help you finish your drawing, and it should go a lot more smoother. When it comes to your guidelines, when you are doing your official line art, keep in mind that your guidelines are simply there to guide you, which means you don't have to necessarily strictly trace over them. If you are in your line art phase and there's anything in your drawing you think could use some improvement, for example, I am going to shorten these crosses because I saw they're a little too long. That's what you can do in the line art phase. You don't have to strictly follow your guidelines. If you are seeing anything that could be needing improvement, go for it. Okay, so the rest is just going to be me like doing the detailing for Leshy's robe and all that stuff. I don't know what other commentary I can provide for this, so I'm just going to play some Cult of the Lamb OTS over this, and you can listen to it while you're doodling and watching the video. Okay, I'll just play the music. And that right there was my drawing tutorial of Leshy from Cult of the Lamb. If I were to ever make a part 2 for this, I think I would have the remaining 3 bishops in the same video instead of their own separate videos, unless you guys want the remaining bishops having their own individual videos. Let me know what you want in the comment section down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for future content, and please make sure you turn on that bell notification so you're alerted each time I upload. If you made your own art following my tutorial, please tag me. I would absolutely love to see it.